Came together in his union, so that is what I want from a partner. Came together.
I think it's a good question for everyone, right? Don't you agree? And I think it's a good question for process healthy femininity and like what they love to see in a woman. I love that.
What's happening with the world? It's your man Mac West, Mr. Fly Am himself. I got
Miss Trees, the edutainer, your wellness and success expert in the house.
And
with that being said, it's your boy Said, here to create, empower, and develop with the social mechanics.
Come on, y'all.
That's
What's
right.
up? How y'all doing today?
Good, lovely.
I like it. Mac,
I'm good. I can't complain.
what's going on, Mac? What we doing?
Yeah, we're about to have a continuum from the last conversation about our financial literacy.
I'm glad you said that because that's what I was ready to talk about. Last time we got into a deep dive about our personal experiences, and I don't know about y'all, but it was emotional for me. I think my allergies was acting up a little bit, you know. But it did get me invigorated for more conversation, and it made me realize that one of the biggest, I would say, opportunities, because I don't like to say issues, one of the biggest opportunities that we have collectively as poor people, working class people, people of color, and people who are not in financial positions of power is to really get out of our feelings.
Right.
Y'all ready to deep dive into that real quick today?
Let's go.
Yeah, because last episode was emotional talking about money. You feel what I'm saying? And it could be emotional for everybody. That's what I think it is. And then and another question on side note, for later on, like,
Drop your answers in the chat.
Like, why is money so tied to our feelings? Why is money so emotional for us?
Let's start with that. Actually, not for later, for right now. And if you have any input about why money is so important to you emotionally, why you get so triggered, so worked up, or why you don't talk about it because you don't want to feel anything negative or overly dreamy, then drop it in the comments. Go ahead and get in our comment section, get in the chat. You can even get in our DMs and emails. It's the Social Mechanics. You can find us on all platforms. Shout out to us and shout out to you for being here. Let's talk about,
like, subscribe,
follow.
Yeah,
you got any advice for the people? Do all of that.
Do all of that. Do it twice if you can.
You a social mechanic too, and we couldn't do this without you.
Put it in the group chat messages with your family. Thank you.
Speaking of group chat messages, one of the things that don't go down in the group chat is finances. Right. And it's because, once again, we feel so emotional about it. And so I think even when we talk about sharing some of the things that we shared, I'm pretty sure these aren't conversations that any of us have had at length with our family members, or if we've had them, it's been a one-off and not something that we do regularly. I'm on point or I'm on point?
Yeah, you are.
All right. So let's start with the question, why is money so emotional? And I'm going to deflect to you guys, of course. And the reason I think that that's so important is, one, we got to learn to listen to our brothers when they got something to say. I'm more passionate about supporting y'all. And two, I tend to be the expert in this particular subject matter and space. And so I really want to hear from you all, who are more so of the people that come to me to become my clients. So let's get it, y'all. Either one of y'all kick us off. Why is money so emotional? Or is it emotional for you?
You want to take this one?
Yeah, I think especially, we're going to talk about Mac and our men, a man, a lot of times we built to provide, to be a provider. In order to be able to provide, that's going to be tied into how much money you earn, how much money you can provide, and how well you provide for those who you feel are in your care. Mm-hmm. So, like, your money is going to directly correlate to how you do a lot of time how you do that, and if a lot of times, even if the people that you're taking care of can show you so much love, but if if in your heart, I would like you to have this, and this, but you don't have that money to provide A, B, and C at that point in time, then it's gonna tug at your heartstrings.
Come on, heartstrings.
Right.
Mac, what's your take?
Yeah, big facts. I think it's tied to our worth and our value.
Mm-hmm.
As a man. Then especially when you hear it in music on male and female sides about the worth, your worth or your value. You feel me? And then it usually becomes with a dollar sign.
Yeah.
And so it's like an emotional attachment to the conversation and just to the number.
Right.
You know, why, you know, the number dwindles, especially after rent and things like that, and after car notes and expenses and groceries, you know, including a date night. You feel me? You could throw a date night in there because that's mandatory, especially if you got the significant other. You feel me? And like, and that's where your values go, or your emotions go into your priorities. Right. So like, it's all like money is attached to so many things, and then when you don't have it, it's like, you question your worth again. So that's where it is. It ties with me. It's like your worth,
right?
You know.
So I definitely think that both of you guys are onto something. I love how you both took opposite sides of the coin to create a monetary value, if you will, on why we're so emotional about money. I would definitely say that money is highly connected to our sense of self-worth, which is what you were talking about, your self-perception and how you view things. And then, of course, it's also tied to your sense of value, right? Things you care about, what you prioritize, and your ability to take care of them. I think because we have traditionally, I'll say working class, poor, and again, people of color have been taught to focus so much on doing instead of being present, we don't always have the opportunity to go within ourselves to really fully understand some of these words we use, things like value and worth, right? And so number one, my self-worth is always going to be something I'm emotional about, right? Because it's a part of how I identify with me, and it is intersectional. And y'all gonna hear us using these words often. It's intersectional with everything else, which means it's a dot that's connected to everything else in my life, right? But also so is my sense of value, right? And if I could just be so honest, a big part of why we are so thrown off by the conversation about money is because we haven't been properly educated about what our sense of value and self-worth really means. We've been taught to look at those things actually from a numerical value standpoint, and we see it play out in spaces that aren't necessarily monetary, like social media. You can have people that aren't even monetized, right, on social media, and they can get real frustrated if they don't get a certain number of likes, right? Because in their minds it correlates to the amount of work that they have in that space, right? Which is also connected to how they value themselves, right? So I definitely think this is something that we'll be diving deeper into. We're going to be having a few more conversations about this stuff, and you guys will hear these words come up, value and self-worth, because it's very important. I want to tap into something that connects to our value and our self-worth. I want to ask you guys, how do you connect money to your belief systems? How do you either connect or disconnect money, like in your own personal experience? Because that is another layer of value and worth that's real important to touch on. Mac, I think you should take this one first, since Sed got in the hot seat last time.
All right, spiritually speaking, I question it. You feel me? Money. Because when, even in the spirituality books, when it says like when the world was created, it mentions a lot of things and money wasn't a part of it. You know, just like a grocery store wasn't part of it, nor was a church a part of it, you know, or anything like that. So it's not to me, it's not from a spiritual base, and it wasn't part of our original construct. So then it's like, well, what value does money truly have? So it has the power that we give it. So like money wouldn't have no power until we gave it power, you know. And so to me, we gave it the value that we used to have for one another as human beings. So the type of things that we used to do, like it's people who are naturally born to be teachers, it's people who are naturally born to be inventors. So as an inventor, I need you to invent, but the teacher needs to be able to teach the masses how this invention works. And then that fair exchange, you feel me, I get to teach the people, and then the people get to use the technology that the inventor gets to use, and it helps the masses. But it didn't require no money. It just required the gifts that we have naturally inside, and we exchange that energy. We exchange transactional energy. We exchange transactional value or spiritual energy. And I feel like that is what we took out of one another, and we placed it into money. And then we get the results that we have now, which is accumulation of things instead of a community of things. Like, I want to get a lot instead of just getting what I need.
Right.
And letting it be.
All right, and say, you tell us, how do you feel that money is connected to your belief system?
Honestly, my belief system at its core doesn't even really factor in money at the end of the day. Just like Mac was saying, you know what I'm saying? As far as what I have grown up believing and what's been placed in me is that, you know, from the way that the Creator intended it, we are all meant to share this wealth, to be fruitful and multiply. You know what I'm saying? So really, the way we do money now is totally the opposite of how it's intended to be. You know what I'm saying? Like even in the Old Testament, when people were passing down from generation to generation, the father passed it on to the son, passed it on to the family, passed it on to the family. And regardless of if you're religious or believe in the Bible or not, when I'm looking at that financial plan and that way of living and that way of doing things, then that's just how it should be. But being forced to, or being, you know, growing into this society and everything else, it doesn't factor into my belief system. You know, it's there. I have to do it. I got to get a job. I got to provide. I got to do whatever. And, you know, I'm grateful for how much I'm able to do. And when I'm not able to do that, hey, it is what it is, and it'll come when it comes.
Got you. And I love both of you guys' perspectives. Again, it's all about conversation, and that's how we steer humanity and move things forward. Is first by communicating. The first thing that happened in any dogma that you believe in, like if y'all read the Quran, if you read Buddhist teachings, if you read the Bible, the basic instructions before leaving Earth, if you read Kemetic books, right, they all speak of something being spoken. They all speak of a command being given, right? And especially the Bible, which is something that a lot of people are familiar with. Even the Quran, like they all speak of existence occurring from it being spoken. So before we get into doing anything, we speak into existence. And I say that because a big part of our belief system is rooted in the things that we talk about, the things that we choose to feed into our minds, like what we receive, what we read, what we pay attention to, largely dictates how we process things. Because of that, and because of the way that I interpret a lot of these teachings from different belief systems, I believe that I'm automatically inclined to have wealth. I'm entitled to have wealth. Now, I don't necessarily believe that money equates to wealth. I think wealth is much bigger than money. Right. But things like education, creating independence, having entrepreneurial awareness, understanding how to be in alignment with the earth and our surroundings in order to properly have a healthy balance of how to use those things and preserve those things, all feeds into my wealth. Right. Because I live in this particular era, I do believe that money plays a part of that because it's a tool that I could use right now. Right. So because I automatically believe that I'm entitled to wealth, I automatically believe that I'm entitled to be able to get money, and I automatically believe that I have value no matter if I've reached those particular numerical goals or not. And also that my worth is so great that I can achieve any number that's put before me, any number of a financial dollar. I believe that I'm entitled to achieve it and that I have everything in me to achieve those financial goals. Now, what that does is puts me in a position where I can use this tool, one, to learn whatever I choose to learn that's important for me, right, to get it, and I can leave the rest off the table. Right. Two, I can be able to share that information freely with other people so that everyone around me can prosper. And three, I have unlimited access and potential to gain as much of it as I want. Right. So money for me is a spiritual thing. I don't think the idea of the dollar is spiritual, but I believe that the idea of being wealthy is spiritual. Because you have to believe innately that you were created for greatness in order for you to do great things. Right. And if you are doing great things, then the equation amounts to greatness being received, right? Learning great things plus doing great things equals greatness in real time. Right. And I believe that I'm entitled to all of that and capable. Let's talk about how we can be strategic in getting out of our feelings to really hone in on how to use our worth, our values, and our beliefs to change our financial situation. Because no matter what we believe, that's what we all here to do. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go ahead and turn to you, Mac. What are some of your thoughts about how we could be strategic in the way we use our worth, our values, and our beliefs to change our financial situations?
I think the most important thing is it's like education around it, you know. And in order to get to the next level, you always have to do things you don't like sometimes. You know, like y'all know, I used to be over 300 pounds, and then I had to change my eating habits, and I had to work out, which was very uncomfortable, undesirable, but the benefits I got from it were like amazing. You feel me? So in that case, you feel me? Like sometimes you can't worry about the right now, you know, you gotta worry about the end goal, you know, and then sometimes in the in between, it's where you build your character. It's where you build your calluses, you feel me, when as you grow, you know, into the business. And then sometimes, you know, it's one of the ones, it's like, am I really saying this, or is the doubt saying this? The thing that, you know, that's crept into my head, you feel me, that thing that tells me I'm not good enough. That little voice, is that little voice louder than who you truly are? No, it's not. It's just loud right now. Mm-hmm. And but your actions will quiet it down with more education, you know, about it.
You hit the nail on the head, which brings me to something that I actually want to get your take on, Sid, because I think what Mac is saying is real valuable in terms of like educating yourself, and that allows you to take action, which will grow you and show you different things, the calluses, right, the growing pains, but it also quiets the voices in our head. So let's talk for a second. Give us a couple minutes about how do we get in a position to really be open to learning, starting from the values and the beliefs that we have now. Like, what is your advice for somebody who has these similar beliefs and values and worth systems that you guys share? What would you tell them in terms of how to get themselves prepared to learn and to be open to learning so that they can grow through those growing pains to develop a better financial situation?
It starts with you being honest with yourself and just really sitting down, calculating, budgeting, you know, crunch the numbers.
Nothing tell the truth like the truth.
Men lie, women lie, nothing don't. Hey, you know, do that. Do that part. Get them numbers down and just be honest about it. You know, you don't have to front. You don't have to don't try to live above your means. Don't try to overextend yourself to please other people. We've talked about value. We've talked about self-worth. Go within yourself and just be honest with yourself and start to build from there, because until you do that, then you are going to kind of be overextending yourself or allowing external factors to persuade you and not listen to that inner voice, not listen to your intuition, not understand where you need to go. You know what I'm saying? You know, anything that's done right, you have to have a solid plan. I mean, and then that plan starts with a solid foundation. If you build your plan or your house on a rocky foundation, on some maybe ifs or whats or whatever, depending on, hey, I just got this new job paying me $10,000 a week, and then you work 2 weeks and then find out, hey, well, you know what, that didn't last but that week, and now you're just right back at square one. So, you know what I'm saying? It's all about that.
I love it, man. Y'all got some really great points, and I'm excited for us to have these kinds of conversations, because I think it really hits home. I would say if you're somebody who's listening, you should be taking action right now. This is an actionable moment. The first thing that you need to do is write down. Get a notebook. You want to get a notebook, label it social mechanics, and take note. What are your values? What are your beliefs? And how does that play into your sense of worth? And then go ahead and get you a budget together. People lie, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie, right? All right, y'all. It's a wrap. Give us your final thoughts about self-worth, values, and beliefs around money. Y'all got any closing 1 minute remarks? I'll turn it over to you.
Get out your feelings. Talk. You know, and that this conversation like this. Don't let this conversation end here. Keep it going. Get in the comments, like, share, subscribe, and let's keep it going.
I love that. What's up, Matt?
My G's. Educate yourself. You know what I'm saying, around it, and ask all the questions. And then don't be afraid to be devil's advocate in certain situations. You feel me? To get even more information out of learning financial literacy. You dig? I'm an advocate of you never can have too many questions. You know, and especially in a subject you don't know.
Right.
So, and then it has a lot of terms and terminologies and legalese, you know, about it that we are unfamiliar with, and that can lead us into a state of like scarcity, like or fear. And there's nothing to be afraid of when learning this information. I know it can be overwhelming, but don't be overwhelmed. Take it one step at a time, and you'll learn this shit.
One step at a time is the perfect way to go. And yes, it can be overwhelming, but you don't have to be overwhelmed. You don't have to do it alone, and you don't have to talk about it alone. If it's challenging to talk about it with friends and family, most definitely get in the chat, get in the comments, make some new friends, like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to meet us here. Mac, close us out.
Money, money, money. That's what we have to use in order to live in this world today. It's transactional, full of transactions. But then we also got to check ourselves and our budgets. And then what we have in our bank account ain't really our true worth. Our true worth is really inside. And nobody can ever take that value away unless you give it away. But remember your value and remember your reason why is very important. Because your reason why, it will give you a reason why to keep going and to keep thriving and to have purpose. Sometimes it could be so heavy. The weight of this world can be so heavy simply because of what your bank account say. But that's not the truth, you know, at all. I don't want nobody to accept the truth about themselves because of they're unhappy about a number that's in their bank account. You're worth more than that, and a number can't ever express your true worth. But the people around you will always tell you your true worth and will show you your true value. You are born with special abilities from God, from the Creator, whatever you want to call it. And I see the value in you, just like my other co-hosts see the value in you as well. Don't be afraid to be a millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire. Don't be afraid to reach for the stars. Sky's the limit, you know. And all you need to say is what me and Trees and learned recently is that it's just a number. It's only $1 million.
Only $1 million.
It's only $1 million.
It's only that. Keep that mentality, and you'll be able to conquer and be able to do anything that you desire. The goal is financial freedom, not to be rich. It's to be financially free. So financially freedom looks like $200,000 to some people or $1 million to others. And with that being said,
Hey.
We will see y'all soon. We're going to see you on the next episode. Tell someone to tell somebody else. We are building. Take care of yourselves and each other.